we on? We good? Yerrr, what's up with y'all?
So
It's Friday night. Yerrr, so we're doing, I guess, Saturday night yeet right now. So made a spider can,
Saturday
aka,
Saturday night's main event.
yeah. Put your mama in the figure four leg lock.
They need to
What's up
bring
with y'all?
that
What's
back.
going on?
So-
Me and Hollywood Sensei, you know.
trophy range right here.
I thought I put money on St. Peter's last night to win outright, but I also
Is
put
that
him in
your
a
is that your intro?
I also put him in a parlay, man. I'm still upset about that, man. I lost money.
This ain't sports. What the?
I lost money, man,
I'm sorry you
Right.
feel that way.
because I put him in
I
a parlay.
I guess you hit rock bottom with that.
Jeremy, would you like to introduce yourself and your pods and all your?
I am Jeremy Pierce. I am not a filthy casual. I am the head of the High Risk Wrestling podcast. You can find it wherever you can get your podcast. You can catch me on Charismatic Creations on Facebook, Tumblr, YouTube, and on Twitter. It is the 215. Yeah, just for finished recording my what is it, the WrestleMania 38 preview and predictions episode today. That show looks like a lot of fun next Saturday and Sunday. So
It's not fun. It's stupendous.
I'm sorry, yeah, stupendous. The most stupendous 2-night WrestleMania ever.
Of all time.
Even though this is only the third 2-night WrestleMania. So yeah.
But appreciate
Yeah,
you
let's
coming
make
on. But let's get into current events. Yeah, I know this is the game. Triple H is done. He got a whole defibrillator in his chest, so he said he's done. He's not wrestling anymore. End of an era. We only probably have Jericho and Ray left from pretty much that era in which he was in. So
I mean, not necessarily. You still have the Hardys. They wrestled in that era.
Yeah, I suppose, but they
Edge from that era. There's a couple left. Edge, Christian,
coming
Sting.
back.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you kind of Sting.
Sting's been wrestling for like
Almost a decade.
he's
No,
been
more
wrestling.
than a decade.
He's wrestled in 5 different decades. So he's the Vince
Sheesh.
Carter. He's the Vince Carter of professional wrestling.
What's your feels on Tripp and what he's done for the business?
I'm not super surprised that they did it on First Take. It's just random, like this weird relationship WWE and ESPN have, but NBC Sports is a total thing. I'll probably say the biggest thing is I think Triple H figured he would probably be wrestling at least for a few more years, and he did not get the retirement tour. He didn't get a story where some young up and comer could retire him and get that heat. I think that's for
He
me.
didn't get a Kurt Angle run.
That's the biggest takeaway I have from this. I mean, Corbin is the one that ended Kurt Angle, and he, that propelled him. It's the same way where I would have rather anybody but Brock Lesnar to end the streak, because you can use that to propel somebody. So he's retired. He's I hated him. I liked him. Then I hated him for his reign of terror with the big gold belts. I will never forgive him for WrestleMania 19, but he also gave us NXT and kind of helped change professional wrestling. So the things he did well, he did great. The things he did badly, burying talent. I mean, him not, more so standing up to Vince. He's Triple H is part of the reason we have
Not the
AEW.
Kobe.
He's part of the reason we have AEW. I mean, you guys said Cody and Dustin couldn't have a match at WrestleMania. They didn't want to do Stardust anymore. You kind of forced them out the door. He killed CM Punk's run, but he also gave us NXT. He also brought in independent talent that we knew of, but the mainstream audience didn't know. If he brought in Finn Balor, he brought in Kevin Owens, he brought in Asuka and Kairi Sane, he brought in Adam Cole, and now look at him. Kairi Sane just made her return tonight at Stardom. So like I said, the good things he did well. The bad things he did horribly, and he did not have the main event so much all the time. But
it sounds more bad than good. But it's like, yeah, it's like every bad thing you say. Oh, he gave us NXT. Another bad thing. Oh, but he gave us NXT.
he gave us NXT.
All right,
That's the biggest plus.
Now, what I want to say is he did bury CM Punk in a way. That match, the first match that they fought, CM Punk actually should have went over. And when they was going to fight again,
calling Kevin Nash on the cell phone. That one.
Texted myself.
And when
the summer of Punk,
when they was going to fight again at WrestleMania, you know, Vince was saying that CM Punk was going to go over this time, but by that time, Punk was already at a level where he needed to be versus him facing Triple H back then. Now he did bury a lot of talent, and a lot of people say he's only got that far is because he's with the boss's daughter. You know what I'm saying? And the championships he have is basically based off of her. And I'm not going to. I am going to kind of say is he kind of ruined Chyna's career, him and Stephanie. They made it hard for her to work there. So that caused her to go into a state of depression right there. But as far as certain things, he did do a lot for the business. NXT is one of them. Putting over Roman when he was supposed to, that was another good thing. You know, putting over Daniel Bryan.
Try with cheap then, so whatever.
I mean, it was all he had a lot of good things, but he also had a lot of negative things about him. So, I mean, that's my take.
Hollywood, what do you got for Triple H? Hopefully, some good in there besides NXT.
Listen, man, Triple H was one of my favorite heels of all time, man. He played the bad guy well. And that's why he was like one of my, I actually rooted for him, you know what I mean, as the bad guy, because he was so well at doing it. You know, he, like you said, he gave us NXT, all that. I mean, he was just a good in-ring competitor to me. I mean, his retirement was a little, you know, I think it was like unceremoniously, you know, how he retired, but, you know, It is what it is. And the only bad thing I'm going to say is, you know, he just didn't put Booker T over. That's all.
Thank you. We never let it go. But also, don't forget. Remember the loudest pop I would never forget. The loudest pop he ever got is when he came back from that ACL injury on Raw. And my favorite version of Triple H is all denim Triple H, denim jacket, denim pants. That pop when he came back, man. But like yes, we're always gonna hold WrestleMania 19 over him.
Yeah. Well, for Triple H, I'll give some more positives on Triple H. As a character, he played the heel role to almost perfection.
Yes.
It's like, but when you're shooting the Ric Flair, and you know you can learn so much from him. Like people shit on the Reign of Terror. I get it. He had some bad matches there. Scott Steiner's won.
Kevin Nash.
A lot of
Kevin Nash.
Heidenreich was there.
I'll give you this: when he was a face, he was a good face as well. He was not afraid to do comedy. We burned Katie Vick out of our brain. That's out. We don't talk about Katie Vick anymore.
Right. But we also
oh no, go ahead, Ken.
No, I was saying we also just for the matches he's done. He's one of the only superstars who's done mostly every match. Like 3 Stages of Hell, Hell in a Cell, Last Man Standing, like everything. Just I think you could throw in a Boiler Room Brawl in there also. Started Evolution, one of the best factions of all time. Started DX, one of the best factions of all time. Well, not started, but you know what I mean. When Shawn was out of DX, then I think it got a little better than what it was. But you know, them two as a whole was good. Other than that, good theme songs. He sure loves Motorhead. Good matches at Mania. And for people saying he doesn't put people over, he has a losing record. I'm just saying. So,
that's true.
But in his personal stuff, the stuff with Chyna, all right, I'll give you that. Booker T, I will give you that. But you know,
Judge, he's like a perfect 50-50 of bad things in his career and good things in his career.
Things. Summer Punk, yeah. But let's look at some of the good things he's also done. Remember the whole this is not a safe work environment lockout thing. It was just like him, Sheamus, Punk, and Cena. I mean, that's one of the better Raws I saw in the last number of years, besides like a WrestleMania Raw. But just his mind for NXT, bringing in indie guys, Cole, Strong.
I'm gonna strongly disagree with Trey that he's putting more people over than he's buried. I wholeheartedly do not agree with that.
I mean,
he's put
over.
He's put the right people over because they had to go over.
Rock out over.
So he's when there was time to put somebody truly over, he had to, because I think that came from upstairs. But more often than not, he's won.
Right. So I mean, it's the game,
and he never wanted. He never wanted to take a pin in a triple threat match.
And the way he should have. And
we did have a rare tap out from him.
Yes,
so. That's true. He had to put Benoit over. He had to put him over. And one more person I think he should have put over while he was there with their time. Him and Jericho had multiple matches, and
they just didn't get along. Triple H,
very lackluster.
Right.
I'm gonna wrap it up with Hollywood. Your final thoughts on Triple H before we go to the next tournament.
But Jericho should have been put over numerous times. So
it was just
he's a good.
Last thing I was just want to say, he was just a part of two of the greatest factions of all time with DX and Evolution, and Triple H he one of my favorites. So
you don't include the Authority.
Don't forget two-man power trip. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, the two-man power trip. My God, they murdered Lita. I almost cried.
Multiple times.
Also, for current events, how do y'all feel that Veer finally has a date? We're getting April 4th.
He's not coming. He's not coming.
I'm just saying, April 4th. If you're watching, put some likes on here. Get some likes on the vid. We appreciate you watching. If you are watching, Veer Mahan, April 4th. How do y'all feel?
He's
the young lion is coming.
He's not coming. Mind you, he's been wrestling on main event for like the last 3 months.
Main event is not Raw. He's coming to Raw April 4th.
I mean, will he get that push? That's what I want to know. Wrestling with the Hinder Mahal. I mean,
he's gonna get an Omos push if anything.
Well,
Omos.
When they usually when they split one person from a tag team or a group, they're expected to get that push because the other boy Shanky looks like he's scared of water.
Shanky takes the pins.
They really want to push Veer. And mind you, I don't know if some of y'all noticed, Veer was one of the first. I believe he's the first Middle Eastern Indian person to play in Major League Baseball. The movie $1 Million Arm, that's about him with John Hamm. So they're going to try to coast off of whatever Hollywood they can get because mind you, I watch Big Sky. Jinder Mahal's on that show. He's the bodyguard of the cartel. He's the lead bodyguard of the cartel. But they didn't push Jinder because Brock didn't want to face him at Survivor Series.
We got AJ Styles instead, so I'll take that any day of the week.
But that's my thing. Sometimes as a good businessman, you got to put your foot down and say, Brock, I understand that you don't want to face him, but we need an Indian star. We need this. And they failed on that part. So they have to try again.
The Middle Eastern
they have to try again with Veer Mahan.
Pakistan is popping. Hollywood, how do you feel about the Vahir coming?
What Matt Papa say? Finally, Veer Mahan spending time. Finally, this nigga's coming. You know what I mean? They've been saying he's coming for like how long?
Since October, since the draft.
Yeah, so we probably ain't gonna get a match his first, you know what I mean? But finally, he here. Finally, shit. They could stop playing this shit every week, and the motherfucker can finally show up. You know what I mean?
I'm not too sold on his work, but I seen him wrestle. I'm just not sold on his work. But if they're gonna push him, they're gonna push him. but we'll see. We'll see his in ring work and what he can do, and I'm looking forward to that. So.
Remember, you're only as good as your book.
Right. And also, I would do Kevin Owens 316 says fuck Texas pretty much. How forced is this feud, and how badly is it going to go at WrestleMania?
The feud is forced. I don't think it's going to go badly at WrestleMania. I was in my show. I said there are two people in the WWE. You can give them anything, and they will always make it work. They are Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They will make anything work. Yes, it's forced, but did you see that segment Monday? He knocked it out of the park. Whatever happens at WrestleMania, it's going to be enjoyable.
How you feel about
it? Is hella forced, but because Kevin Owens is involved, it's the possibility of it being good is higher than it being bad. So I'm gonna still watch it just because it's Stone Cold. You know what I mean? If Stone Cold gonna be there, you gonna see it. You know what I mean? It's Stone Cold. You feel me?
Roman Reigns. How do you
feel? I do feel like it's forced. But I also feel as though they need to sell tickets. So Austin was the next best thing. And on top of that, I see him coming in there, giving him a couple of stunners and just, walking out. I mean, it's not really going to be a match. It's just going to be like a segment. I mean, because basically he didn't have enough time to prepare for it. They told him like a month, Austin. They told him like a month in advance or something like that. It was more like a month and a half.
Yeah, they gave him 6 months. If I may have been something, or maybe a year. Like give him a year to do something. Maybe would have got a little squash match out of it.
Right.
We're Austin takes
but what I do think they're going to do is, how The Rock fought what's his name?
Eric Rowan.
Aaron Rowan. It might be one of those like 5-second matches or something like that. Just like a WrestleMania record, to set a WrestleMania record for the quickest pin or something like that. It'll probably be something like that. But I can't see it as like a talking segment. It's just probably going to be like a little quick 5-second match or something. That's my take.
Real quick on the Blackpool Combat Club. How are you feeling about this matchup? Tag team with John Moxley and Bryan Danielson and led by William Regal.
Listen, if you ain't got nothing we know this in wrestling. If you don't have anything for somebody to do, put them in a tag team.
Put them in a tag team.
Just put them in a tag team and let's see what happens. And it kind of reminds me of a gang because Moxie's like, you want to end, you got to get in the hard way by blood and by combat. And the one thing I do love is that they've been the first person they teased to join was Wheeler Yuta, and if you've been paying attention, Wheeler and Trent have been having issues for months now. It's been little things. So I'm a fan of Wheeler Yuta. I hope he gets in. It just works because at some point, AEW is going to have a trios championship. It's going to happen. I think it's probably going to happen.
They didn't have it yet.
I think it's going. Well, Tony did an interview, said he's probably going to bring it in when Kenny finally comes back from injury because AEW is loaded with factions. I did a show just on trios and who I will make the first champion. So the Black Bull Combat Club, love it. You got two workers that can help make anybody.
I got Blackpool Combat Club versus House of Black. Oh, I'll tune into that one.
So the bad thing is who's going to be the third? Who's the third?
For I don't know. Definitely. You know what? I want to say this. I think Daniel Garcia deflects from the Jericho Appreciation Club, and I think he'll be perfect for it.
Yeah,
it's like somebody young being perfect for it. Daniel Garcia, William Yuta not young, but younger than the other two. It's like Buddy Matthews is the younger of maybe by looks. I'm not saying by age. By looks. Yeah. He'll be the initiate of that. So if they get like a young initiate, it could be Lee Moriarty. I like that.
Love Lee Moriarty.
But him being black on a I'm just saying.
But Lee is if I could rank like the best technical in-ring wrestlers in AEW, he's probably in the top 5. Lee
Mm.
Moriarty, he's that good in the ring, and that's why when Brian Danielson was talking about doing this, the first name he mentioned in his promo was Lee Moriarty, and that was the first person he fought when this whole thing started.
And what was the second match they had? Because he was very high on
Daniel Garcia.
Was it?
It was Daniel Garcia,
Yeah.
first person.
No. When they created the tag team, it had their second tag match. It just happened. No, never mind. I'm getting confused. They faced the Varsity Blondes on the second one.
Yeah.
Hollywood Sensei, what do you rank the Blackpool Combat Club? It just made up tag teams with the bar and two-man power trip, and
they're too young. Too young.
Rated RKO.
I can't give them a ranking yet.
Too young. They've only had two or three matches.
They ain't do enough yet. But I do like the pairing. You know what I mean? It's Brian Danielson, John Moxley. Come on, man. Like this shit is fire. And then with William Regal, this whole thing, man, I love it, man. But right now, I'm just they inconclusive with their ranking.
Right, because think about the made up tag team AEW had that was tag team champions. Kenny and Hangman. That was a made up tag team. They were boys, but but they were boys, but they weren't really, a true tag team. They just made it work. I mean,
Goose, I'll end off with you. How do you feel about this tag team? Are they going to get tag team gold sooner or later?
I am overjoyed with it. Honestly, that feeling I get reminds me of the two-man power trip. I get that feeling with them winning the gold. I could see either Moxley or Danielson being, AEW champion, and one of them going after the mid card title and tag team champion. I can see that.
I got my feelings about the TNT championship, but we could do that for another episode.
I'll throw this out there real quick. My favorite random tag team pairing will probably always be Booker T and Goldust.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Not Team Hell No.
But they were great, and their comedy was good. Their comedy wasn't better than Booker T and Goldust.
Or the Rocket Sock connection. Or that Rocket Sock connection. I mean, they had their little comedy moments too. I mean,
great.
It's good stuff.
Great.
That's another thing WWE knows how to do is put two niggas together and just work.
Yeah,
right. So even though I remember when they formed, even though The Rock and Mankind didn't like each other around that time, I guess they forged like a cohesive tag team.
Yeah.
To the point where they became.
Yeah, they had
that good chemistry. It was good chemistry.
And remember, it also gave us, Rock, This Is Your Life. It's a classic segment.
Right.
The highest rated segment.
The Rock said The Rock's birthday is May 2nd, you stupid son of a bitch. Or you can poo-tang your ass out the
I did want to move on with this. AEW allegedly signed a deal, HBO Max, to kind of the Peacock deal. How y'all feel about that? Where does it go from here?
Okay. You can go. You go first, Goose, because I got
that. That would definitely it would change the aspect of things. Which means they could do a lot more things that can't be censored. I mean, on HBO Max,
they're already not censored.
Well, it's going to be even more. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't say I go on this show and like breasts and stuff like that, but it would be more, more graphic if you want to put it like that.
For me, this is this deal gets signed. I think it would truly put fear into the WWE. HBO Max is in 44.3 million homes. It is, since its inception, has already jumped up to probably the second.
I approve of that message of Jay.
the second streaming network, and with Tony Khan purchasing Ring of Honor, it actually might be better for them to be on a streaming platform instead of trying to get an outright television deal. Because think about Impact is on Axis. People don't know where Axis is, and Ring of Honor, people didn't know where to find it, but we know where HBO Max is. Tony's been buying libraries up. This deal goes through, they could potentially challenge the WWE because now they got the platform for the streaming library. They're already partners with Warner Brothers because they own TNT. They're partner up. The company's only been around for 3 or 4 years, and we're about to be in their 4th year, and they're about to might get a streaming deal with the third largest streaming platform on the planet. That's amazing. It goes down, you can kind of say we're at war now.
Hollywood, I'll wrap it up with you. How do you feel about if they sign it? If they sign it and it goes through, the E in trouble.
If they sign it, I definitely agree with Jeremy. If they get that deal, because 44 million people, that's that's a lot of potential viewers for your product. So yeah, they definitely, it's going to be a nice competition if they get that deal signed. I hope they get that deal signed. I mean, now I want the competition. I want the war.
And
they already won Wednesday. They bully NXT to Tuesday. So
and it is another thing is that HBO Max, they're going to redo the entire platform because the original platform was literally just made to watch Game of Thrones, and they just started putting stuff on it. They actually never built it from the ground up. So once they rebuild that, it's like, oh wait, we can now think about it. They don't stream anything live on HBO Max. They've never had like a streaming show or like a live event. Peacock does it. Everybody else does it except for HBO Max. I mean, think about this. AEW wouldn't have to do pay-per-views anymore. They could just do what the network does. HBO Max. Oh, ready to watch Revolution? Go to HBO Max. Like, it's a great. They signed this deal. It's
over.
It's over.
Over like we're over. Real quick, just quick lightning round just to get everything out. Big E tweeted from his C1 fracture he could have had a stroke, paralysis, or death. I mean, do you see Big E getting back in the ring anytime later, or just maybe being a Tyson Kidd producer type deal or something like that with them, or being the new Miz, being a more immediate guy, or Tyson O'Neil type?
I think he'll be back in the ring. Never say never. I mean, I'll point to Sting, Edge, Bryan Danielson, and at some point, she keeps going, training, healing. Paige will be back. Big E is fine. I think he'll be back wrestling. He'll be back at the Rumble.
All right, Hollywood, you got Big E coming back or just being fake?
I'm a hold out hope that he's coming back. A lot of things can happen. I mean, we've seen it be done before, so I'm not gonna say it can't happen. So I'm gonna just say, yeah, he'll be back.
Modern science for the win. Roman Reigns, you got Big E coming back?
No, not really. He has a fracture. It's a neck injury. Those are like the worst type of injuries you can get in wrestling. I mean, neck injury. I mean,
fracture's better. Sometimes a fracture actually isn't better than a break. You actually will prefer it to break, but you don't want your neck to break. Like right. you'd rather break like a bone in your arm because they can just put it back together. Fracture is different because you gotta heal that thing like well. Right. But
right. It doesn't heal well for the C1. So
yeah. And the difference is between him and Tyson Kidd is Tyson Kidd actually has a rod in his neck, so he's done. It's no coming back from that. Which is one of the reasons I wanted to get into why they actually made Samoa Joe. That's why they made him change his finisher to the Kikita clutch. It was more of the it's like a brain buster.
He did it. He did it a few times in his very last run.
Muscle buster.
The muscle buster.
Yeah.
But we got the last thing that guy's part is probably going to get the Warrior Word. He should have got it last year.
Yeah, he should have got it. Should have got it last year. Last year should have been the time he should have got it. Uh, that's another thing I have an issue with them. Um, even though there are people who are like, for instance, like China. China should have been in the Hall of Fame. But they waited years after she died, and on top of that, she's not in there by herself. She doesn't have a solo Hall of Fame. He should have got that last year, not 2 years later because he died in 2020. Should have got that last year.
I mean,
not
are we gonna harp that he's not in there? We're gonna appreciate that he's in there now.
Better late than never.
I'm gonna appreciate that. Yes. But sometimes they do things at the wrong time. And that's just one of them.
Hollywood, we'll wrap it up with you. Better late than never, or
yeah, it's better late than never. You know, the obvious is, you know, he should have been in there last year. You know, that's the obvious. But the fact that he's in there, we're gonna celebrate that. And yeah.
All right, so moving on. Other than that, we got top 5 wrestling video games. So we had issues with this yesterday. To start at 5, and we're gonna go up to 1. So if you could start with 5 for me, and then you wait the rotation, and then you'll go 4, and then you watch them for reset. So at 5, what's your number 5 wrestling game of all time?
Here comes the pain.
What puts it at 5 over the other one?
Is that at 5? I'm keeping it 5.
Okay. So my question is, why did you put it at 5?
Because more so, I wasn't sold on the gameplay. I was more sold on the storyline than the gameplay. And that's just like the gameplay wasn't there for me, but the storyline was. That's why
I'm gonna piggyback on Trey and put SmackDown vs. Raw 06 on there. I understand 07 is a problem, but 06 had the GM mode that set everything apart from the other games. So I'm gonna go. I mean, 07 was good, but I'm gonna go 06 for SmackDown vs. Raw as my number 5. Jeremy, who you got at number 5?
F, was it F or E? The first Raw game for Xbox.
Yeah, that was my shit.
Yes. And it's because you could it probably had the best creative player suite. You could actually, people don't remember this, you could install and burn music onto your Xbox. And then
I remember
upload your own music into your entrance. So my character had all this pyro, and then it was coming out to like DMX, Ain't No Sunshine. And the graphics were great at that time. It probably had the best graphics for like any game at that time.
I wasn't sold on the gameplay with that one because they moved like so slow, like bricks, like something was holding them down. I mean, now Raw 2, that was even better.
Hollywood, who you got number 5?
Number 5, I had on my list. I got WCW versus the World. That was like
prototype.
Yeah, man. That was like one of the first games I had. So I used to
the prototype to everything.
Yeah.
Number 5. Oh, I did number 5. Number 4, I'm gonna go with WrestleMania, the arcade game. Very, very, just a simple, fun game, arcade simulator that it didn't have the many people on there, but I did have a Sega Saturn, which it was on there. So just for the arcade simulator, just for that started. Without that, you probably wouldn't get WWE All Stars and all that good stuff. So I mean, my number 4 for that one, just for the sheer just fun enjoyment of just playing the game, not taking it seriously. All the intuitive, like all the breakthroughs that they were doing in there, graphics wise, for the most part. I'm gonna go with WrestleMania arcade game. Think it's that. Everybody got their number 4s.
My
Yep.
number four. My number four is WCW NWO Revenge. My number four.
That's hilarious. If you put
Revenge.
that at 4 and you put WrestleMania 2001, it's just like it's not gonna be sensible. But I digress.
Well, no. See, I ain't even gonna tell you what my number one is. Okay, I'm not even gonna do that.
You know what? Apologies. I'm sorry. Jeremy, what you got at number 4?
I actually have Here Comes the Pain at number 4. It's one of, if not next to probably my number one, the highest rated WWE wrestling game. It's the one with Brock Lesnar on the cover. That's why I remember it. It came out during the era when SmackDown had the rap theme song, and I just remember enjoying the hell out of that game.
Hollywood, you got number 4.
Number 4, I got a Fire Pro Wrestling World. It's like,
He busted out the Fire Pro
yeah,
Wrestling.
the roster on there is just, it's just crazy. So it's definitely.
I swear, if you have a day to yourself, you have 12 to 24 hours to yourself to get to all the customization and button commands the way you want it. Probably the best wrestling game of all time. If you have the time to do all that inputting.
Yeah, that's why I don't got it higher on my list, because you got to do all that.
Right. Nah, it's crazy. Now, my number 3, I mean, you already said twice. I'm going SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain. Obviously, I mean, it's the best of the trios for that SmackDown run. I mean, just it got everybody on there you want. Just, I'm not gonna repeat what everybody else said, but it's number 3. It's a little higher on my list, so just for that time, and also PS2, best system of all time. Obviously, just had the best wrestling game for that system of all time. So that's my number 3.
My number 3 is SmackDown versus Raw 2000.
2000.
2000. It is the second game to feature ECW, and it was the first to start introducing the mini games for like stuff. It had the brand warfare mode, and you could build everything. I just remember loving that game, and I got to play with ECW.
Goose, who you got for number 3?
Who I got for number 3 is a particular wrestling game. It's called Power Move Pro Wrestling for PlayStation 1.
Power Move? Like blood?
Power Move.
Power Move Pro.
Yeah.
Pro
Wrestling. If he said Power Move Pro Wrestling.
Power Move Pro
I know what
Wrestling.
you said now. I know you said Power Move Pro Wrestling. The Hollywood says, so you got a number 3.
My number 3, I had SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain at number 3. I mean, it's the GOAT from that generation. So yeah, that's my 3.
My number 2. I don't want to hear no hate, no slander, no nothing. I'm going No Mercy. I'm just saying, the game was great at its time. Probably the best command system of all time, best controls of all time. It didn't age well. It's nasty.
You can't judge it. You can't judge it from. You can't judge it from then and now. You got to judge it for that time. And at that time,
for that time, it was the best rendition of that. The World Tours, the Revenge, the 2000s, and that. And we get that, and it gets a leg up on every other wrestling game because of the controls and the blood, and just like how I think that was maybe I think they took that from other games, but I just like you do a finisher and it's a replay 3 times and then you got to pin the person. But I'm not gonna be conformed to saying it's number 1 overall because of that. So I'm gonna put it at number 2.
Number 2, I'm gonna group both of these together. Def Jam Vendetta, Def Jam Fight for New York. The first Def
Oh,
Jam
you
game was
like
the
you like
first
fighting Fat Joe, huh?
the first Def Jam Vendetta took place inside a wrestling ring. And it's obvious why it's in there is because it was also made by the same studios made by Ike that made No Mercy and WCW and all of them Johns. And yeah, it was just rappers and I get to wrestle as them and do stuff. And it was a good game. It was a genuinely good game.
That was Sean Paul. He gets Rasta. So bad, but highly enjoyable.
Shit.
Highly got it number 2.
Number 2, I had No Mercy, man. Had many wars playing that game. Fights. Yeah, man. No Mercy.
Who you got number 2?
I'm gonna go with No Mercy.
Fair enough. We're all conforming with No Mercy. Number 1, I'm gonna get the side eye maybe on this, but I'm going to 2K14 as being the best. As Jeremy said, you can import your own music into it and custom instances. It's just a little deeper than that. It's just like the customization was on par, and then compared to like 15 when they took female women wrestlers off of it, like you couldn't create a woman wrestler on 2K15, and it had the limited like the climb from 14 to 15 is just so drastic with the one John Cena on the cover, and it's like the weirdest thing. And in the universe mode, you got universe mode on there. I had so much fun doing universe mode, make my own brand, just creating characters left and right. Too bad it was on the 360. And then if you had one of those 360s, your memory would just delete randomly. So, I just, whatever. We just had inferior systems back in the day. But I'm going to go 14, probably being one of the best. Still had a great roster. You had Steel, Punk, Austin, Cena. Everybody on there. Everybody that was good in that era. DLC was actually good. Biggie was DLC on there. Probably just get most of these people during that time on there if they were on there. But I'm gonna go to K14 as being the best wrestling game of all time.
I actually do have they're split. I'm grouping them together. I do have No Mercy and Revenge as number 1. They're essentially the same game. They're just I'm rarely are games universally praised for just everything. Yes, the graphics don't stand the test of time, but customizing is just the one thing I do remember about the game. Cam said it's the controls. And they've been since they went to 2K, they've been messing with the controls for years. And the one thing Aki did between all of their wrestling games was they kept the controls of the same. I remember, tap for a light, hold it for a strong. It's that simple. You got to watch that. I remember standing on the sides and taunting, getting that meter to go up. The story mode was very good. No Mercy and Revenge. And World Tour was a good game. Revenge made World Tour irrelevant because that's how good Revenge was.
Yeah, so, especially the intro was hilarious.
The first game Goldberg appeared in. Revenge. Raven.
Yeah, everybody was on Revenge.
Yeah.
So y'all got a number 1.
All right, so don't clown me for this. I'm gonna go with 2020. I'm gonna go with 2022. 2K22. That is the best wrestling game right now of all time. I have actually.
It hits different, huh?
I seen it.
Him different.
I seen it. I seen the gameplay. The graphics is there. It's better than 2K20. Now my only issue with it is
by a mile.
The roster is the only thing I have a problem with. Everything else, GMO, solid, solid. They actually literally took their time. Well, they should have because they had 2 years. But yes, that's my number one. I had to go with that one. It's the
Can't
best one.
can't really do nothing about the roster when WWE released over 80 wrestlers in the
Or
span of 2
100
years.
Yes.
So I
Hey.
mean, they don't need to make a new wrestling game every year. You can literally patch stuff in and patch stuff out.
They
But
should have passed it from 14 and just went on and just did that, but whatever.
Oh, like they doing Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, I mean, just patch it, add the roster, re-download it. There you go. Who you got number one?
My number one was SmackDown versus Raw 2006. You know, I spent many hours playing that game. I mean, just up at night on GM mode. So, you know, I love the soundtrack on it and everything. So, yeah.
We got
2006.
we gotta get a shot at Machine Gun Kelly for making.
Or do you want to honorable mentions?
I'll give you an honorable mention. WWE Day of Reckoning on GameCube.
Oh yeah, I was about to go with that one. They recorded. They got some good songs with it. Nice soundtrack.
My honorable mention WWE 2K16. That was a good game.
Yeah.
My honorable mention would be Mayhem was okay. WCW Mayhem, that was okay. It wasn't bad. It was a good game. So.
I'll go with one of the original SmackDown games.
Oh, you talk about the ones where they get up like crackheads. That was,
it's another honorable mention one that I can't really forget about. There was was it Warzone?
Warzone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, WWF Attitude.
Yeah,
that Attitude
Warzone
was the updated version of Warzone.
Was a goodie.
Yeah,
Warzone on PlayStation.
And another honorable mention. Remember that In Your House game that was like a Mortal Kombat or Saturn? I mean, Undertaker finisher. He'll, I think, drop you in a tombstone and put you in a casket. Or something
another arcade simulator.
Another arcade simulator.
Oh, what was wasn't there one I really like? It was it? I want to say it came out on Dreamcast. Was Royal Rumble?
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
I enjoyed that because I remember it was based off the Royal Rumble. They had like the silver Titantron.
Oh,
and all you could do was just like wrestle in the Royal Rumble. Had like 4 other match modes, but for some reason it stands out to me.
What about another one? Raw from Sega. They move like little bricks and stuff. That was another item, but it was good for its time.
Royal Rumble was on Super Nintendo.
Nobody's a fan of Crush Hour.
I didn't play too much of it.
If you're a fan of Crush Hour, you're a fan of the ECW game.
I haven't played too much of it to be a fan of.
But the move on, we got the Mount Rushmore. Who's on your Mount Rushmore for all time male competitor? Just to break it down, all time male singles competitor.
I had to get on camera. You got to be very specific.
I'll go first.
You got his Mount Rushmore. You ready to go?
All right, so it's gonna be like the game situation, right? Back and forth, or if you just at
no, just time. say your fourth.
My fourth one would be Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Austin. And I will probably have to go with Johnson.
I got issues with that, but okay. Hollywood Sensation.
My Mount Rushmore, I got The Rock, Austin, Taker, Randy Orton.
Randall Keith Orton, maybe?
Randall Keith Orton.
Jeremy, you're probably gonna have one I'm gonna disagree with the most. So,
I'm taking my personal bias out because Eddie Guerrero will always be my Mount Rushmore, but I'm gonna go truthfully. Chris Jericho, Stone Cold, HBK, and Sting.
Why is Sting there?
I can give you a plethora of reasons why Sting.
Why is Sting there?
I can give you a plethora of reasons why Sting.
I'm hurt. Why is Sting there? All right, mine would be, I guess that. I mean, Hulk Hogan, obviously.
It's not obvious.
How's it not obvious?
You know what? You know, continue. I'm sorry, you didn't interrupt.
It's Hulk Hogan by a mile being number one. No ifs, ands, or buts. Austin, pretty much. I mean, that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna go Undertaker, being the best probably character in wrestling ever, and then go John Cena, being probably the goat of the modern era of that. So to switch it up, hold on. I'm gonna give everybody a chance to which one wrestler do you disagree on everybody's list? So I'm gonna start with Goose. Who do you disagree? What's the one person you disagree on everybody's list?
I disagree with Randy Orton on Hollywood Sensation.
And
I disagree with Hulk Hogan on your list. And Jeremy, I disagree with Chris Jericho on your list.
Jerry, those to you. Who you disagree on everybody's list?
Probably Hogan on yours.
I'm very confused on this Hogan pick.
What was yours again, Goose? Who was your four?
Randy Orton on his.
What were the four on yours again?
It was Bret Hart,
John
Cena, who else was I named?
You forgot your list that quick?
Shawn Michaels, I think it was. It was Austin.
Probably Cena and RKO on the Sensei.
Yeah, I'm a relatively safe RKO on that one. I'm definitely saying this is a little weird. I'm gonna go HBK on that one, and I'm gonna go Sting on Johnny.
Okay.
I don't know where this Hogan hate is coming from. Like biggest wrestling star.
I chose Austin, Bret Hart, and Shawn Michaels for specific reasons, because they each shaped wrestling in their time.
But so did
Iron Man, Hogan did too, but not as much as Austin, Bret Hart, and Shawn Michaels did.
You're obviously not sober with you saying that.
How you
so
figure?
I'm gonna go Hollywood Sensei, and then I'll explain myself that. Which one do you disagree with? On which one wrestler do you disagree on? Everybody.
Hogan, Sting, HBK.
Now back to Hogan. He had movies, cartoons, commercials. He was just bigger than life. So
the Kid and Play.
And the Kid and Play was a one-hit wonder. Whatever.
So did Tupac. Tupac had commercials too. Like he had movies.
Here's what I say about. There's no denying Hogan's impact of professional wrestling. I mean, he was in Rocky. So Rocky, yeah. So I'm not tripping. It makes sense to be.
Not to mention, it's the biggest heel turn of all.
And
that's true.
Also, don't forget he was in Three Ninjas, High Noon, and Make a Million. I'm just saying. But for me, yes, Hogan probably is number one of that era. But for me, I personally feel like $1 Million Man, Piper, and the Macho Man were more had a better critical impact than a commercial impact, and that's
How?
why I take
How? How?
that's why I take them out.
How? What did Million Dollar Man do better than Hogan?
It's not about what he did. He was a better wrestler than Hogan. He had a better character than Hogan, and
We're not doing that.
He was a better heel than Hogan.
When it's all crashing down and it hurts inside, over the laugh, obviously, like
not over the laugh.
If you hurt my friend and you, one of the best things all time.
Hey kid, I'm gonna give you $100 so you can bounce this ball 10 times. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're so close, kid. 7, 8, 9. Oops, looks like you failed.
And it was a better heel than him. Slaughter at that point. He was when he was Iraqi.
but here's the thing, and the reason why I choose Stone Cold over Hogan is because Stone Cold.
I have Stone Cold on my list too, so that's when you enter there.
But I'm choosing Austin over Hogan on your list is because Austin started the Attitude Era. He was the first wrestler. Okay, I'm beating up my boss. You know what I'm saying? I'm trashing my boss at my workplace. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't get fired. And he had that I could do whatever type mentality. Hogan, yeah, he had the movies and stuff like that. But then you might as well say Rock is a better Hogan because Rock was more successful at it.
Well, Rock got it from who? All right.
Rock got it from Hogan, but he's more successful.
Do not disrespect Kevin Nash. He was Super Shredder. All right.
Oh, he was. He was.
He was.
Like Shredder. You like you go to destroy his all. Then so be it. Okay.
But no. That's my only thing. I really don't disagree with Hogan being in this. I just felt like there were other people I thought were more than Hogan. Better. Yeah. But Hogan,
I'm fine with. I can sub out Undertaker for Jericho. I can do that.
And I will always make a case for Jericho as one of the GOATs. I can make a case for him to be probably the GOAT. I can make a case for Jericho.
You can. I mean, Hollywood, your stance on Randy Orton?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just purely bias. You know what I mean? To be honest. I like Randy. I mean, he been
but you gotta take out the bias because I took out my bias already. Guerrero will be on my list all the time.
If we're gonna take the bias out, then I'll throw John Cena in there.
Okay. John Cena almost universally has a pick because come on.
Well, he's the closest person to Ric Flair when it comes to holding titles.
What?
They actually did. They tied.
Actually,
I let you finish your
sentence. They're dead tied when it comes to that. They obviously not gonna let him break Ric Flair's record of being a 17-time champion. They're not gonna do that. I mean, even though I believe
if anything, Charlotte will break it.
If we talking about male version wise, they're not gonna like let another male do that.
I'm holding out money that honestly I really could see them letting Randy Orton break it.
Randy got about like another 10 years. I mean,
another 10 years left in him.
He only 42.
Five at best.
Well, if Sting can wrestle at 62 and jump off of balconies, then Randy can wrestle till he's 62.
And my issue with the Undertaker, I think Undertaker
best character in wrestling history.
He is the best character in wrestling history.
He is. No, look, I love the Phenom, but I think in the like mid 2000s he should have stopped because his work started to become.
If we go mid 2000s, you don't get WrestleMania 27. You don't get the rematch. You don't get end of an era. You don't get
but here's the thing. Shawn Michaels carried on both matches because he was injured both matches. So with Triple H, he was injured both matches. It was just that Triple H carried it. He carried the entire.
Who carried the last two Brock matches? It wasn't Brock.
No, Brock carried the last one. Undertaker was injured.
Just giving Taker no credit
I am giving no.
for any of his matches.
The Taker that I like, I like the Attitude Era Taker, and I like Taker in like the '90s, the early '90s.
I get it.
That's when he did his best work.
Like
That was his best work.
Let's
I'm
segue
not-
into the Attitude Era.
I'm not sold on American Badass Undertaker.
That's my favorite take. That's my
Him
favorite take.
riding down
Right,
with
right.
a motorcycle.
Now listen. We'll segue into the Attitude Era. Wrap it up for the night. Top 5 Attitude Era themes.
Stone Cold Steve Austin right there. The
We
glass
start
break.
at 5. You see a trend here. We start at 5.
Right. Austin is my number 5.
Okay.
You started Austin at 5.
I did. Because I got another one in mind after that. Okay.
I'm still sober, so I need what you're on. Jeremy, who's number 5 for you?
It was close. I'm actually gonna pick number 5. I have the Hardy Boys. That opening drum beat. It was between them and Edge and Christian. But I got the Hardys at 5.
Hollywood, who you got?
At 5, I got Vince McMahon, boy. No chance.
I'm not mad at that, actually. Gucci. All right, so it's up to me. Number 5. Come on, man. I'm going D'Lo Brown. You look at the real deal now.
And we met D'Lo at Impact too.
Gonna kick your sorry ass out in the street. You good. I'm gonna put that D'Lo Brown as my number 5. Bruce started with the hot take, being he's got Austin at 5. Who's your number 4? You're pissing me off.
My number 4? I'm gonna go with The Rock. You spell with The Rock, it's cooking, okay?
I'm not mad at that. Jeremy, who you got number 4?
Kurt Angle.
Solid.
Solid. Not Perk Kurt.
Not Kurt. This is Kurt Angle when he had hair.
Kurt, where you at here?
Hollywood, who you got number 4?
Number 4, I got DX.
I'm not mad at that either. Number 4. I'm listening to him now. This is rough. I'm gonna go with Vince. I'm fine with putting Vince at 4. Not mad at it. Put Vince McMahon number 4. Goose had number 3. You already gave away The Rock and Stone Cold, so I don't know what you got left, really.
Edge, you think you know, okay? Yes, his first thing.
Was that the Attitude Era?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was Edge and Christian's.
No, when he first came, it was his joint. You think you know me?
All right. Jeremy, number 3.
Originally, I had The Rock, but I feel like his theme songs were better as he got later in his career. Number 3, I actually have Gangrel.
Solid.
That's my number 3 also. Going Gangrel, number 3. Pretty fucking fire. Hollywood, you got number 3.
My number 3, I got Chris Jericho. At 3.
I like that Y2J. Goose number 2. Disappoint me some more.
The New Age Outlaws.
All right. I told you disappoint me, and you gave it away very well. Jeremy, you got number 3.
Number 2. Number 2, I actually have Chris Jericho.
Number 2, I got The Rock at 2.
Number 2 is Austin for me. Glass breaks. We know. Who's number one best Attitude Era team?
I'm gonna go with Jericho. Break the walls down.
I think you was counting down backwards. Jeremy, number one. Who you got to wrap it up?
I have D Generation X.
Oh, your sensei, number one.
Number one, I had two honorables.
I'll go with the honorable.
I had New Age Outlaws and HBK as my honorables, but my number one, Stone Cold.
My two honorables is the Undertaker, Ministry of Darkness team.
Mm-hmm.
Rock, being honorable mention. Number one, Triple H, my time.
Jean Jacket Triple H.
I like that. That's one of my. I like that as my honorable.
Yeah,
Jean Jacket Triple H, my time. If Jean Jacket Triple H, my time came out at WrestleMania 30 instead of Kings, he would have beat the shit out of Daniel Bryan. That's just me.
I wanted him to come out with that. You know what the crazy thing is? Remember they would have it was like retro Raw, throwback Raw. Randy Orton never came out to his sparkling, hey, know what you can say music. Triple H never came back out to my time. I wanted that. I'll throw in and
I love Triple H came out at 30 to King of Kings.
Yeah.
And I thought he was gonna beat Daniel Bryan at that point because he came out so fucking badass. But
honorable mention, I'll throw in Mankind with the car crashing. And
iconic.
Low key, Jeff Jarrett's music.
Not Splatnut.
Another honorable mention. I gotta throw the Godfather in there.
Another honorable mention. I'm gonna go with Owen Hart, John.
I am not a nugget.
I am not a nugget.
With the caution tape, and he's with fucking Nation and Domination.
Right.
Oh, I got one more, and that's Al Snow.
What does everybody
want? What does everybody need?
All right, this wraps us up. Episode 3, Friday Night Yerrr / Saturday Night Yeet. You know what I'm saying? Jeremy, appreciate you coming on. I hope you come on future episodes. You know what I'm saying? Where we can find you at.
You can find me. Best place is Instagram, charismatic_creations52, and on Twitter, the 215. 215 is spelled out.
Roman Reigns. I mean, you ain't got
it. You catch you on here Friday to Sunday.
Hollywood Sensei, where we find you at?
Man, Hollywood Sensei, you can find me Blurred Cartel, Blurred Approved Entertainment. What it sound like every Thursday at 7. You catch me on the round table on Wednesdays, and I'm be on here talking wrestling. And you can see me tomorrow talking sports.
That's right. Amazing Fire Can, aka Mr. AKA, put your mom on 4 leg up. Blur Crew Entertainment on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. And then with notifications, all that good stuff. Blur Cartel, drop a follow, drop a like. That's all I care about. But other than that, the shows, catch Bay Chan Tuesdays 7:30. You catch the round tables 8 o'clock on Blur Cartel. You catch What It Sound Like 7 p.m. Blur Cartel. I think we're going with the second bracket of the Best Lyricist tournament. So it's going to be Lil Kim versus Rakim.
Lil Wayne versus Rakim.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Not Lil Kim. Lil Wayne versus Rakim. So we're going to put some respect on Wayne's name. I think that's going to be the feature match right there. We got 3 other matches going on. Friday Night Yerrr, you know what I'm saying? Catch that here. We'll be at Sports John tomorrow for the NBA and NFL. Jeremy, you're more than welcome to join that if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Gus will be on there, so it's NBA first out. And, you'll catch the Goose on there also. And catch Hollywood Sensei on there also. So that wraps us up for the night. We'll be back on next Friday. All right. Appreciate y'all for coming on.
Mm-hmm.